Hey guys, how you doing? So Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, seventh richest person in the world. In 2016, he started buying Apple stock. Since then, Apple stock has gone up 639%, blowing away the NASDAQ. At this time, Apple stock position in Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company, is so big, it's almost half of the entire Berkshire Hathaway portfolio. That's huge. So you don't know, Warren Buffett is a value investor. That means when he buys an investment, he's looking for an asset, typically a business, whether it be stocks or he buys out an entire company, typically a business that is undervalued. He's looking for something that's undervalued, and he's looking for something that follows a couple other rules of investment that he has. So first of all, it has to be undervalued. So when he bought Apple stock, it had a PE, a price to earnings ratio of 10. That's a measure of how much you're paying for the stock relative to how much the company is earning per share. We won't get into that. All you have to know is PE 10 for a tech company is actually a very good price. Typically they're in the 20s or 30s. Today in 2023, the PE of Apple is 31, so we'll get into whether or not Apple's still a good buy. But in 2016 it was a fantastic buy because A, the PE was 10. B, it had another thing going for it that Warren Buffett looks for, and that is it had a moat. What's a moat? Basically, you had something about the company that would make it very difficult for competitors to just jump into the market and compete against Apple. So what does it have? Well, it has a few things. A, it has intellectual property. It has very refined software, and has a software ecosystem that keeps people in Apple, one of them. Why? Because I have iPhone, and I have iPhone largely because I have Mac computers, and iPhone and Mac computers play nice together well. So it makes it more difficult for me want to leave Apple simply because I have Apple computers. So I typically buy an iPhone. That's one of the main reasons anyway. Number two, it has design aesthetics. Apple's hardware looks good. A lot of people find it to be aspirational hardware, if you will. They're really nice looking computers, nice looking phones. Yeah, you know, taste may vary, but you know, Apple iPhone controls half of the smartphone market. So, you know, a lot of people think it looks good. So they're aspirational products. They have a bit of Rolex in them, if you will, if you understand what I mean. Finally, Apple's software is really powerful as well. So you got the software, you got the aesthetics of the hardware, and you also have the hardware itself. The hardware is actually their processors that they make in-house, their M1 architecture, very advanced. Has huge advantages over other competing solutions in the market. So that's those are three barriers to entry right there that contribute to the moat, something that Warren Buffett looks for. And finally, the Apple brand is super powerful. You know, Apple people, they're big fans. Like you put a light bulb and you put an Apple logo on it, and they're going to be buying that light bulb for twice as much as you'd pay for a light bulb made by a GE. And the final reason Warren Buffett bought Apple is because they're very profitable. They got very strong margins. Last time I checked, I think they got 40% margins on the products they sell. So that means that Apple's got a lot of flexibility in terms of pricing. So they could lower their prices considerably if they had to, and still make a profit. Whereas a lot of other businesses, their margins, their profit margins on their products that they sell are razor thin. So Apple doesn't have that problem. So besides that, it has tons of cash on hand. So that's why Warren Buffett started buying Apple hand over fist in 2016. And it's done well for them. As I said, since 2016, the stock has gone up 639%, whereas the NASDAQ went up only 190%. So it's a triple performance over the NASDAQ. So you can't piss on that. Anyway, what to take away from the video is how Warren Buffett picks their stocks, the rules I just laid out for you. I'll talk more about this in other videos, but now you get an idea. You want to look for undervalued companies. You want to look for companies that have moats and companies that have a lot of cash on hand. They're profitable. This makes the investment far safer than it would be otherwise. Another thing I'll point out, when Warren Buffett buys into companies, he's holding for a long time. He's been selling a little bit recently, more than he did in the past, but generally his philosophy is before I buy a company, I'm assuming I'm going to own this company forever. This is a good strategy because psychologically it forces you to spend more time researching whatever investment you're going to make, because you figure I'm going to be stuck with this thing for at least several years. So anyway, more on that in other videos. If you have any comments about this video, disagreements, whatever, let me know in the links below. I'm Steph. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.